I started that show watching it with the partner, so they have to be in the mood to watch it too.
I just say, "Oh, do you not remember this part, or do you not remember this?" She eventually
I
catches
don't
on.
try gaslight.
Yeah, it's kind of funny in the friend group. I've noticed that like all the rest of the husbands, they don't really try games like I do.
Jumps down and slides down the hill. I see shots going above his head.
So she's like, oh, great, on her one day off, you're trying to romance this Pan Am chick. I'm like, honey, it's V, it's not me. Come on.
Brought back some old Catholic school memories, did it?
Oh man, yeah, you just okay. You know the DMV sloth.
I know you're going with this.
Yeah, this guy.
You're listening to On the Rewind.
All right. Do you like it nerdy? Do you like it geeky? Are you blue collar like myself? Well, I'm Derek. This is my friend Adam here, and we're airing on Amherst Island Radio 101.3 FM. And you can catch us wherever you get your podcasts and the extended show afterwards. So, Adam, how's your week?
You nailed it. I love it. Well, yeah.
You had to pause it.
Oh yeah, no. Oh God, no. That deserves praise.
Well, it's better than the first take.
Yeah, but yeah. My well, actually, it's not been just a week. We're actually looking at about a month here, and I just gotta address that because first time was a scheduling issue with myself, and then the second, third, fourth, fifth time was a scheduling issue with myself. So yeah, then we are back and rolling. I went on vacation for a little bit. I'll talk about that. But yeah, that's why you are getting your podcast a little bit later than expected. But yeah, great to be back. I'm gonna actually just address something that is the most recent and then almost work my way backwards. I was working today.
So we're really on the rewind.
Oh, hey. Yeah, no, it was totally planned. Yeah, this is not any... God damn, you make me sound smarter than I am. So yeah, there's this guy that comes into work. I am going to call him Brandon. And he is really great. He's...
White.
Yeah. He's an oddball to say the least. He left his like 6-figure banking job, his wife, his kids, and all that to move into the small town where I work and live out of a motel and meditate. That's to sum up his backstory. He likes finding rocks and polishing them and giving them to people and saying there's chi and like everything adds up to 23 style. That's kind of what he's like.
Okay. So kind of the numbers Mason got a little too hard at the 6-figure income bank job, and
yeah. So like pretty much he's right out to lunch, but he's a sweetheart, absolute sweetheart. He's so nice to us. And
well, if he could afford to live in a life of luxury like that, you can be as cuckoo as he wants, as long as there's a roof over his head, right?
Oh yeah, well now, yeah, like I think his wife just took the pension or whatever because he left all of it. But so he was pretty chill. And then the other day, and he always kind of like, I'm nice and I get people talking, and the other day he starts talking to me like he usually does, and usually goes off about like, did you see the aura this morning and how like white it was or whatever, which means like, oh, it's a great day, or it's gonna be a great day. Well, he starts going about how the body's the best filter for everything, and like the new girl that moved in, her pee is like super clear and all that, and he was looking at his and it was yellow and he didn't like that. So he went on to...
Okay, sorry. I have to stop you. Did you say chi or pee?
Pee.
Pee. So urine.
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't know how he's gotten a chance to look at... Oh, because she doesn't flush. He told me that. She doesn't flush, so he got to see it and he saw the color of it. And I'm like, okay, this is already way weirder than most conversations with this guy, but I'm going to hold on. I'm going to hope that there's something like really awesome coming. And he's like, yeah, so like I went on a cleanse and like I got my pee like so clear, and then I bottled it and like I drank it, man, and it's like the best water you could ever have. Like, I'm not kidding. You should definitely try it. I go, I definitely will. He goes, sweet. Let me know about it. And then customer came in, thank God, and he left.
Okay, that's a whole new definition to piss water.
Yeah.
A very more literal one than the
Yeah.
beer.
Yeah. Oh, and he's like saying like straight face, just like, and this is, yeah. And like, if you knew Brandon, then it would be like, yeah, that makes sense. He's
Are you sure it's that, or is it just a guy trying to get a reaction?
no. Or,
No.
or if he is like a thespian, like actor that has been in the small town I work in for like 5 years and is like method acting. Cause like he's known around town. You see him walking up and down all the time, and like he has rocks in his pocket that he holds if he's angry or if he's sad to drain it into the
Okay,
rock.
now that's just starting to sound like my partner.
Yeah. Yeah, actually it's kind of funny. He like really hit it off with a girl that works there because she also keeps rocks in her pockets for the same reason, which I didn't know was actually a very popular thing. And your partner does that as well?
You are literally like, for your workplace is literally a 10-minute drive from a shop that sells those kind of rocks.
Oh. Okay, well. I know all the food places around, but yeah, I don't know any of the rock places. But
Well, the women in my family and the woman I am partnered with, they got a couple screws loose.
is she currently in the room?
Yep. Oh, I love them.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, you gotta say that. But yeah, no, that was just kind of, I had to get that out of the way because like I just had a dart on the way home, and I was just like, God, half the stories I tell of this place don't make sense, and no one believes me. And it's like,
I believe you.
oh man. But yeah, like probably like to an extent, you're like, he's like embellishing just a bit for the podcast or something. And it's like in a day-to-day conversation about myself or my past, maybe. But like, no, anything from the store is usually pretty raw and pretty viral, and just it's what I've been. Yeah,
Yeah,
I.
I forget to do a TikTok account for it now.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think one of her friend's partners actually said that when I first started, or maybe it was your partner, but yeah, one of them said like you could make real money doing like an uncensored TikTok of your gas station. And it's like every day I'm
Yeah,
thinking
that's
maybe.
also how you lose your job, though.
Oh yeah. Oh, the first TikTok about the owner would be like 5 minutes long, and it's like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
But
what you could do, open mic night.
ooh, ooh, yeah, yeah, definitely. No, that'd be.
But I gave you the idea, so you're required by bro code, and I'm making up and citing that I get free tickets to all the shows.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Like, screw a tight 5. I got like a tight 30.
I'll be your entourage. Just one guy wearing a Neon Blinds Media T-shirt and an On the Rewind baseball cap.
Speaking of entourages, I don't know if I said this to you last time I saw you. We were looking at a place for our wedding, and in under the services, for pretty cheap, dude, I could get a bodyguard.
Okay. I see
Right?
this going one of two ways.
Uh-huh.
Either you're gonna get a big guy, and I mean a big guy, or you're gonna get a guy huffing on an inhaler that's roughly around the same build as you. Is like, I got you, man.
Oh, I don't care, honestly. I obviously, well, no, that's a lie. I would love the big tall
Or like
guy.
a trucker named Dale that's like, I got you.
Oh, yeah.
Security.
Oh yeah, he's just got a beer gut out to here, and just he's just chilling there.
Yeah.
But no, I so badly, no matter where we go, I want to spend, because it was only like $270 just to have a guy there all night long. But I'm like, you have to be beside me, not my partner at all, and just throughout the ceremony, just like partner goes in for a kiss when we say our I do's, and he just holds it back, ma'am, take a step back, I'm like, oh, yeah, how funny of a joke that would be.
You know how angry she would be?
Oh, I almost beg to differ because we have started looking at the prices of weddings, and for how much we have started bringing up bits that we want to do.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, like we want to just stop, like clink the glass at the reception, and then both go to separate corners with mics and just go wee woo wow wow, and then she goes wee woo wow wow, and we try and do it as long as possible before someone says anything, and after all the laughter stops. Right? If you're spending like 20 grand for one day, like come on. I'm gonna do all the things I'm saying I'm gonna do because you have to.
Oh yeah. By all means. I mean, I'm excited for you, but not gonna lie, I'm also excited for the food truck.
Yeah, just price that out. It's actually not too bad. We're looking at like 5,400 or something like that. So that's actually pretty much ballpark with the average. And I know it's all locally sourced and like fresh that day, so can't complain there.
Yeah.
So yeah, looking at just this is starting fish tacos, sliders with 5 toppings, fries, poutine, and smoked mac and cheese. So yeah.
So I just hope you know that every time I hear more about your pricing out of your wedding and how my partner's been bugging me, so when are we having ours? I'm like, yeah, with that price point, not anytime soon.
Oh my god, yeah. Yeah, and I know I brought this up to you. I thought it was 10 grand. And I hope any listener is like kind of like, yeah, is it not? It's like 10 grand used to
be 5 years ago.
Yeah, and like 10 grand used to be like a good wedding. Used to be like a pretty darn good wedding. Now you're looking at like 20 grand for like pretty excuse me. You're looking at like 20 grand for like a nice wedding, but you're only looking at like 100 people tops. Like anything more than that, which like 100 people is supposed to be an average wedding, 50 is supposed to be micro, and 150 is a large. But then my friend went to a 700 people wedding, which was hilarious. But
big Irish family. I think the biggest one I've been to is 200.
Yeah, that's still that though. Like by the time you're getting your food, like it's probably cold and you can't see your table anymore. It's probably over the horizon.
A lot of people didn't stick around for the reception. It was just the ceremony.
Oh, okay.
A lot of people traveled to that thing to be a part of that, whichever bit that well, and then I think the reception was only like about 100.
See, I keep thinking about doing that, but we're already kind of pushing it with saying no kids allowed at the wedding.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, so it'd be fine to say no kids allowed at the wedding, and then also
I get it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm just like, man, I've never heard of that.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
Oh.
I remember seeing this article a while back that like these kids' graduations, the other parents couldn't bring in their other kids, and I'm just like, oh.
Oh yeah.
About that too. It's just like all these like I don't know. It's just kind of those things like, well, we grew up in the same kind of like Catholic upbringing, church thing. There was always a kid crying out of mass.
Yeah, there's not gonna be a kid crying at this wedding. Not a chance. Yeah, we it is thankfully we're not just like outlier bad people. I won't say the A word, but
just both of your moms are going to be crying.
Yeah, but yeah, no, it's become.
Don't make eye contact with your mom while you're standing up there. She is going to be tearing up and she's going to be looking into your soul when it happens.
Oh yeah, and like I love my mom, but she's such an ugly crier. Oh, and I'm ugly crier too. Don't get me wrong, but she's awful. Oh, but yeah. So that's fine. That's not even written on my notes. But yeah, like the wedding thing is just crazy. I'm glad that we put like the 3-year thing on it, just so it's like we have it all budgeted out that we should be like not even feel it by the time we're there, because it's all just putting money away a little bit at a time.
Like 20 grand over a 3-year course is like that's pretty good because you're talking to a guy that lives just check the check.
Yeah. It's all of my partner's spare money from the gas bar. is just all going in there. So her check from there is just immediately wedding savings, which is lucky for her.
Mm-hmm.
And then
and your only dance.
Yeah. But yeah, I matched that, and then we have I think like 22 grand afterwards, which is pretty sweet. After 3 years.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah. But
you can almost put a down payment on a second house and just rent that out and stop working.
Oh gosh. Especially with rent. Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and if I did work, then I'd be really raking it in.
Yeah.
Okay, so my vacation. So I was so tempted to take my tax check, which for viewer or listeners, sorry, it's your tax return. Is that the right word for it, Derek?
Correct.
Okay, cool.
I
Yeah.
usually have a tax owing.
Oh.
Somehow.
But yeah, so it's my tax return. So the money I got from taxes, I was so tempted to take that because I got it just as I came back. I was like, you know what? Screw PC. I am going to Cuba or something for like a week. And it was so brutal. Like I need a vacation from my vacation. But
that reminds me of every time I see a Chihuahua and someone tells me it's a support animal, and I tell them, well, your support animal needs a support animal. It's shaking so bad.
Oh my god, yeah, like they cry at this drop of a hat. It's adorable, but it's like, no. If anything, you're
no. Chihuahuas are not adorable. Pugs are adorable.
Okay, well, yeah, that's just because you like things with breathing issues.
I like you, don't I?
Yeah. So yeah, the drive down. My vacation was in New Brunswick, and from where I am in Ontario, it was about 12 hours on the dot to get there. And the drive down there was pretty freaking awesome. Like we left at around 10, so we got through Quebec, which for any non-Canadians listening, you don't want to go through Quebec at any point or time, but you really don't want to go through it in the daytime because the traffic is awful and the drivers are worse. Whatever. So yeah, we got through there at we went in at 1 a.m. I think we were like getting out by 6-ish. I want to say. Yeah. Yeah, so like traffic was just starting up. So that was great. And then yeah, just getting through New Brunswick, it was kind of terrifying, kind of scary because we were going through like hills and mountains and like a bad fog and there was no bars. Like dude, Final Destination, stuff like that. There was
my brain always goes to Silent Hill.
Oh, well, yeah. Yeah, with the fog, definitely. But yeah, Final Destination, because those trucks with the logs, huge industry down there. And they were just whizzing by you, doing these awful turns. Oh. And yeah, like one serial killer with tire spikes could have taken us out in like 5 minutes and no one would have known. I stopped over to take a leak and like I didn't see anyone for like 10 minutes because they also rested. But yeah. Yeah. And that was like the main way in up the coast. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, there was also the fires and everything else that was going on too, right? So
yeah, but surprisingly,
they're chilling down because we had all that rain. But like, I remember, like, I think it was a couple days before you guys left. I know Napanee wasn't too bad. Belleville was okay, but Kingston, like, you had smoke. You really didn't see the end of the street.
Yeah.
And like it was like borderline like, hey, if this doesn't get better, evacuation soon.
Yeah. Real quick, New Brunswick, they actually for some reason didn't get any smoke according to her parents. But back to that, just for anyone that doesn't know, we've had well, actually you probably do know if you're in the States or anywhere else because
New York was like, I think we had one of our American friends chip in that the Republican lizard podcast people were blaming Canadians, saying that we were starting fires to smoke out the States.
Yeah. A few people were like, as soon as pop becomes legal, all of a sudden smoke starts coming from Canada. But yeah, the fires were awful, so smoke started moving in, and it was like freaky because like I remember I took a nap one day, and I woke up, I looked outside, and it was yellow, like just everything had a yellow tinge to it, and it was like, oof. So yeah, then I would go out for a dart.
Kingston had orange.
Yeah. Yeah, my one buddy who lives in Ottawa, they had red. That was cool.
Yeah, I remember when my buddy in Australia sent me a photo, and yeah, it was red there too.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, from all their fires, like the whole island, red.
That's terrifying. Cool. Yeah. See, the problem is I keep saying cool, and I did throughout the whole week because it's like it's one of those things that like when the pandemic happened, you're like, okay, this is terrifying, but it's also kind of cool to see. Like you're living through something that like before you're like, the grandparents would live through, like all the cool stuff. It's like, well, we have something to talk about.
First time I pumped like gas during the day in like Toronto. During the pandemic, like it almost looked like a Mexican standoff between all the attendants because everyone was like eyeing each other. It's like, do you got the COVID? Do you got the COVID? Am I gonna get sick from your contact? Like everyone was just like, just feel the tension.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. Try starting a new job in Toronto and then have the people, if you don't shake their hand, then you're a pansy. But then the other half, you're like, okay, so people here are shaking hands. Then you go in for one, and it turns out he's like a high level VIP, and he goes, no, have you not heard? I'm like, frig, I know, I have heard, but I just don't know what. Just trying to impress everyone right now, so you will hire me on full time. Yeah, there were standoffs just daily. Yeah. So
then became the rise of the elbow bump.
Oh my god, I love that. I love how people still try and do it too, and it's like, it wasn't even cool when it first came out, let alone now, man. Come on.
The last season of Shameless made it kind of look cool.
Oh no way! What'd they do?
No, they did their last season. They had a whole plan for 2 seasons. Pandemic happened, and then they did the wrap in 1 season.
Oh,
and they did a COVID season.
Oh, was that their final?
Yeah.
Oh, no way. They're finally done. Jeez.
Yeah. I think it's like 13 or it's 11 or 13. It's an odd number in the double digits.
Yeah. That's cool, though. Because, yeah, they didn't think
really
that was...
great show.
Yeah.
But if you're going to watch it with your family, skip a couple seasons because, like a Game of Thrones show, it's all story after season 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
I should say HBO show.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. When that first started. But oh yeah. So going to New Brunswick, it was all right. Like her parents bought a place without seeing it online.
Mm-hmm.
Or sorry, without seeing it, and they purchased online, so they didn't realize that there was a
lot of work.
Well, yes and no. It was a really nice place next to a trucking yard, which already has its problems. And in their backyard is like a swamp. I don't know why they keep moving to swamps, but also like acres of.
Now, do they have the Eastern accent?
No, they have.
I was really hoping for "This is my swamp."
Oh my god!
Again, Disney Shrek level stuff.
No, it'd be like, it's my swamp, pretty much.
Oh, so Floridian.
Oh yeah, oh big time. So
it's next to a trucker stop may as well, right?
Yup. So, yeah. So I would like go out for a dart late at night, and I'd turn my phone on, and it would just beam off of my glasses into the swamp. And I kid you not, it was like fighter planes, like tinging off of my glasses. Like they would just, all swarming at once. They get in between my glasses, like trying to like get at this light. Oh, so I ended up like smoking just in the dark, and like I still got eaten alive, but like not as bad.
Yeah, because they're only drawn to the lit end of the cigarette for the most part.
Oh
Just to
yeah,
know you're there.
it was really funny because every single time, it's almost like in a horror movie when you're like flicking the lighter, and all of a sudden there's the monster there in front of you. I would take a drag of the smoke, and the ember would light up, and all of a sudden you just see the swarm there, and I'm like, I hate this. I'm not a big bug fan. I know you know this, but I'm not a big.
Yeah,
bug-
that still is like a good cinematic look though. Like the light, like I know you have to like enhance it, and there's other lighting effects that go into those scenes, but
Mhm.
it's always like that lighting up the cigarette lighting up the area.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah.
funny. The hardest lighting to do is natural in quotations. Like trying to get a
Yeah.
fire is so difficult because yeah, you can just light a fire and let it light the characters, but you're gonna get awful shadows and you're not really gonna see anything. And also like natural light, it's like, well, no, you still need like a bounce underneath them to actually light up their face because you can't see what they're saying or any expression whatsoever. But a cigarette, that would be a difficult one because you need it so dim, but also it need to dim out
I
on its
feel
own.
like you could do those like wire light bulbs.
Yeah.
Do like a lampshade that's coning on, and then have that just out of shot pointing at the guy.
Yeah, yeah. You could have like a
I feel like if you could get like the orange wire,
oh yeah, getting the
like
color.
the vintage orange like wire, where it's like the whole light bulb isn't lit up, it's just the wire inside. Then you have like a black lampshade
Yeah.
cone.
Yeah,
I feel like that's how you would get it.
you definitely need a huge diffuser on it. And then you would also have to time it with the actor, but that's not the most difficult part. I think yeah.
No, but you can wire things pretty good with like a slide switch and
Yeah.
kind of just like, and if you do like the kind of the metronome kind of timing with the inhales, you can
Yeah. As long as
lighten
it's
that
not
up.
like lighting up the background, I think you'd be fine. That'd be
Yeah.
actually hilarious.
That's why I'm thinking with the wire, because the wire lighting, because that's not going to go too far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you could cut in with that, if you do like the matte black,
Yeah.
it's only gonna, and you angle it upwards, it's only gonna really be the face and maybe the collar of the shirt.
Yeah. God, yeah. I've never been asked to do a shot like that. That would be a fun one.
Just experiment with it.
Yeah.
Create the unique shots. Throw it on the website. Be like, hey, I can do this.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be a fun
And then when they
one.
actually ask you to do that, you're gonna be like, oh god.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's like anytime they ask me to like set up a slider, I'm like,
All right, back to the cigarettes and swamp things before I derail you for another 10 minutes.
Yeah. God, I hate slider shots so much. It's like they're great when you see them, but then it's just like it took me like 30 minutes to set this up for like 10 seconds. But anyways, yeah, so that was that. Also, let's see. I actually have notes here. The French. Yes, they also not only bought next to a swamp and bought next to a trucking yard, they bought in a completely French town, which isn't as bad as I'd like it to be, so I could complain more. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna embellish.
How French the town is? Are all the store shops in French?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's not shopper, or it's farmer pre or whatever.
Yeah, no, it
Yeah.
every single thing was in French except for the hospital at the emergency room. It said emergencies.
Was it named after a person?
No. The hospital's
Okay.
name was all in French, but like the emergency room, it said emergency/emerge, whatever how you say it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the only thing English in this whole town. Some people in different towns were nice enough to have like English menus, which was sweet. But for the most part, all
Not that town.
yeah, not Caracat, no. Um, but yeah, you like the beach was sick. Not to
Yeah.
So I'm not complaining the whole time. There was this one beach we went to, and if I remember, I might actually give it to you to post on the social media. There was
Actually, I'm probably just going to be giving you the social.
become a
Seem to
little,
be doing a better online manager, and I'm just too
yeah.
busy working overtime right now.
I love doing it. I don't know. I think I found like a second, third, fourth calling. Um, but yeah, there is almost looks like there was a cliff going out into the ocean that fell over time. So then there's just like this cliff end. It's just a bunch of rock going almost straight up and goes about, let's say, 4 stories tall. And they've made it a bird sanctuary. And it is the coolest thing to see because, like, the birds have realized over time that no one messes with them up here. No one ever goes on there. They have these trees, they have just this whole land, and nothing else can go up there. No predators except for other birds. So it is so cool. You just see all different kinds of birds that are like going in, diving in for the fish and all that. And like, yeah, no, that was pretty sweet. There was actually a few sand beaches, which was nice, not just all shells and rocks and awfulness, but yeah, for the most part, the vacation was not awful, but the drive back, man, the drive back, I almost, as much as I dislike Quebec, I almost set up shop there, man. I almost had you mail the cats to me. I ugh, I started getting a fever like halfway through, and halfway through my trip. I think on the 3rd night or 4th night, whatever. Um, and I wasn't sleeping at all. My head was pounding because like my head got so hot and swollen that like I just couldn't get rid of this headache. So I didn't sleep for, I think it ended up being 30 hours beforehand, before leaving for 12.
Okay.
So I was dead in the car as soon as we started leaving. And her dad and her, you can't tell her dad anything. That's as much as I'll say. It's the in-laws. Think of National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation when the in-laws come over. That's as much as I'll get into it. But they're all like giving me different times and they're arguing with each other and all that. And like, so I just said, you know what? We'll just leave at the same time we left home. We'll just get there at 10 a.m. It'll be fine. Because you leave at 10, get there at 10. Well, actually, technically, with the hour delay, we'd get there at 9, but whatever. That was the biggest mistake. Because we went through New Brunswick that has no traffic no matter what. At like, let's say 10 to about 1 a.m. We did miss Quebec City traffic. And then we went starting the Montreal traffic at 6 a.m. So when everyone's ready, when everyone's getting up, getting to their places, all the truck drivers are up and they're out, they're doing their thing. And wouldn't you know it, no one likes to use a signal. Hey, have you heard about that, Derek? Does that intrigue you?
I mean, that's just everywhere.
Okay, well, hey.
Oh, cat in the background.
Nice. My cat's been trying to get into this room the whole time. But yeah, so it was just like, I remember we stopped at this toll road because I was using toll roads the whole way. I don't care. I'm paying whatever. Just get me through this quicker.
Yeah.
I remember we stopped at a toll booth and like my vision did like almost like a snap back. Like it started going and like a long hallway and then snap back. I was like, all right, we got to get off right now. And then, yeah, pulled off into a farm field and just like rested my eyes for 10 minutes and then started going back. But, yeah, that just beat the living hell right out of me. And then I got home, crashed for 7 hours, didn't move a muscle, and I woke up and I couldn't move anything. Just seized everything right up because you're so tense for like 12 hours.
Yeah.
And yeah, you need to move your body. You need to stretch or something. I walked in, texted mom and all that. I was like, out, done, no more. So, yeah. The vacation was not a vacation, but it is what it is. At least I wasn't at work. I would have paid to be there, but yeah. Anyways. On a more happier note, I have picked up Fallout 4, which is showing you how old these notes are because I picked that up about a month ago. Downloaded every single build mod I could think of to build settlements.
PC or console?
Console. I think I have it on both, to be honest, but yeah, it was actually going back a little bit. We hired a sitter for the in-house sitter for New Brunswick, and when I was showing her how to work the PS5, my mom was also there because they're friends, and I show, like, as soon as you turn on the PS5, you go to games, and Fallout 4 was there, and I go, no matter what you do not touch this. I almost started saying, hey, make a new game or anything, but if you overwrite my save, I am going to have a conniption. And then PS5 and probably 4 now, it was an update. They finally did the thing everyone wants. It shows how many hours you have in the game. And I know every time I do this to my gamer friends, they're like, that's nothing. It's like, I have 1,000 hours in this. It's like, to me, this is a lot. It said 145 hours. I'm like, there. And then my mom almost fell over and said, you need another job or something if you're doing that, which it was a really bad thing to do in front of my mom because she's bad like that, but I love her. But yeah, that kept the sitter away from it. But anyways, Fallout 4. Getting back into it. Loving it. But absolutely hating the fact that the radio stations only have like 17 songs, maybe?
Yeah. Well, as they lose the licenses, they don't replace it. They just take out the songs.
Yeah. Start figuring that out. And our one buddy said that you could download a mod for the songs, but I don't know if that's not on PS5 and only on PC. Because like PC, they have a mod that literally like puts Spotify pretty much on your radio or your Pip-Boy.
Or, you could just run Spotify in the background.
Not a chance. It's actually kind of funny. I feel like I am derailing a lot, but they did this for New Vegas. They used AI to put different factions, like leaders and important people in the story, on the Joe Rogan podcast. And he actually,
that's funny.
Right? And they actually like talk about issues that are happening in the Fallout. And like they allude to certain stuff and like that's gonna happen in the story, and they change. Like, he did really, really well. And I kind of love it. Because it's actually just like Joe Rogan's voice and it's really clear. And yeah, he's like, that's crazy. It's like, yeah, we want to enslave all of them. It's like, wow. It's like, love it. Want that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so besides that, I do have a question. But after that, there's not really a whole hell of a lot. I do have Westworld, but I do actually want to save that.
I actually haven't sat down and watched any more Westworld yet.
Okay, perfect. So that's nice. That's your homework for next time, because I actually want to go through like a huge spoiler thing and just talk about it, because it's fun to pick a person's brain about it that's watched it. But yeah, do you want to do
the problem is I started that show watching it with the partner. so they have to be in the mood to watch it too.
Okay, what you do is, well, no, your partner's a little more tech savvy than mine. I just say, "Oh, do you not remember this part, or do you not remember this?" She eventually
I
catches
don't
on.
try gaslight.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of funny in the friend group. I've noticed that like all the rest of the husbands, they don't really try games like I do. And I like to think that I'm just being adventurous. But to be fair, she gets me back every once in a while. But yeah, it's like really
Well, you
funny.
two do it to each other, so there's a little
Yeah.
bit of
There's a
free
little,
game there.
yeah, a little bit of back and forth. It is funny though. I always end up being the one that has to apologize, but that's okay.
Well, that's the man's role.
Yeah, exactly. You got it. But yeah, if you want, we can do the question after your week or before.
Is it a question for the podcast, or is it a question that you got for me?
Oh no. Well, how are you doing, my love? Okay. So on to Scott's question. Hey, I know you guys are nerds. I don't think you've talked about it before though. DC or Marvel? See how I threw you off there first and then I went into the serious stuff?
Yeah. Okay. So, personally, I like DC.
Nice. Nice.
I do appreciate, like, I like both. There's things I like from both. Like, you got Deadpool, Wolverine on the other, and then on the other end, like, I like what CW did with Green Arrow. And then I also like the Gotham show and stuff like that. And a few other things and stuff like that. So it's like there's things I like from both. It's like Marvel dominates in the movies, but DC dominates in the TV shows.
Yes. That's very, very fair.
But I've always liked, like, Batman Beyond was probably like my favorite series in Batman.
Yeah.
Or just like, Bruce Wayne handing down the mantle. I grew up watching Teen Titans, the OG cartoon, not the Teen Titans Go. Actually, I saw a short of, and they had a really dark prank for their April Fools. It was a really dark episode. I haven't seen anything, but I was like, oh god, because Robin's trying to trick the rest of the Titans to walk into the tape.
Yeah.
And then they trick him to run into this room that's filled with tape to catch him, and they say, "Hey, your parents came. They found you, and they want to they went that route."
I love
it. He's just like crying, like, "Good one, guys." And Raven's like, "That was." We got to scratch that one.
Yeah,
but
write that down for me.
All right.
Yeah, they did. Sounds like we actually do watch Teen Titans Go, but no, they're short. There was one where they did the all the Jokers. They did impressions of all the Jokers. I think they went to Jared Leto or whichever one was
okay
in Suicide Squad. Is that Jared Leto?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I believe so.
Yeah.
The one Will Smith and what's her last name?
Don't ask me.
Okay, the one that was in The Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh yeah, Margot Robbie. Margot Robbie. Yeah,
Margot Robbie. Yeah, like they both attested to how bad he was to work with.
Oh yeah. And Teen Titans Go does not let up. It just they go at him. I love it. But I'm actually like very similar vein with you. I might not have said that though if like they had just like slowed down with the Marvel movies, because after Endgame I couldn't keep up. There's only so many hours in the day. But
the only one I'm interested in is the next Guardians of the Galaxy one, and I saw like a little thing of it, and I'm like, oh god, it's gonna be a sad one.
Yeah, I've heard some things, unfortunately, on my favorite podcasts and all that. So I already know kind of what's coming. I can't handle it.
Yeah, same. And I'm just kind of like, no.
Please, Papa, no. But yeah, so I actually saw a really good meme that summed it up where it's like Marvel animation, and it's a guy like it's Drake doing the nah, and then it's like DC animation, it's like the yeah, and it's like and
Okay, there is an exception to that though.
I might be prepared to
Into the
fight.
Spider-Verse and across the Spider-Verse, which I haven't seen the second one, but the animation style in that is phenomenal.
God, you always do that. I agree. Yes. Okay. Yeah. No, that is
That's the exception.
yeah. Yeah, that is really, really good.
Also, did you ever watch the OG, or not the OG, I guess. It would have been kind of like when we were kids, Teletoon, the Iron Man show.
No.
Okay, that animation was good, but if you look at like Static Shock from back in the day and the other stuff and Batman Beyond and all that, is like that still topples a majority of what they put out.
Well, yeah, they actually have on Netflix right now, they have the old Batman like 4:3 ratio animated show. And like there's so little going on in the frame, but how they're lighting it and like how they're framing everything is astonishing. It's like almost like an Art Deco style cartoon. I think it's from like the 90s or even the 80s, but like they couldn't have so much stuff going on the screen, which makes sense because that would slow down the computer. But like how they just the art style is to die for. But
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't die for that art style. But yeah.
And then have you seen Batman Samurai or Samurai
Snippets? I haven't watched the whole thing.
Ninja Batman or whatever? That
Yeah.
I don't know. That's where I'm like, yes, they have Marvel has two animated shows that really, really hit it home. But like if you put the whole catalog of DC animated on, it's hard to compare.
Yeah. Plus the entire like DC Justice League TV show.
Yes. Yes. You know how hard that is to find?
And you know what kind of threw me off is like to me, like Green Lantern was always black, and then when Ryan Reynolds gets cast, I was like, that movie just didn't feel right.
Yeah. Yeah.
A white Green Lantern just doesn't feel.
Which is like so funny because I'm like, isn't this the age of like casting everyone like a different race? It's like you've never done it the opposite way, but I'm glad it flopped because yeah, it didn't feel right, didn't really work well.
I think the voice actor did it though for the most part. Like he just he that like I stand for good and but also logic kind of voice actor.
Yeah,
Did a good, phenomenal job with that.
Oh, very. Also, yeah, and I think I was talking about this a few episodes ago now, but like watching the Flash TV show, you said it well, where like they do TV shows really well. The only one that I really have watched in entirety is Loki for Marvel side, and it wasn't bad, wasn't awful.
That the actors carried that one though.
Well, yeah, specifically, what's his name? Not Matthew McConaughey, but the other guy, Owen Wilson. I usually am bad at that. I'm glad today. Margot Robbie and Owen Wilson. Yeah.
All right, you're on the ball.
Yeah, because I usually have to look to my partner for all of that stuff because I just give up. I throw my hands up. But yeah, Owen Wilson carried that hard. It was just, yeah, I don't know. I loved it. And then Crocodile Loki. But one that I've heard is really good from the old roommate is I think it's called What If? Have you heard that?
Oh yeah, I haven't watched that. Apparently that was supposed to be like their animated blockbuster.
Yeah. Apparently it's really good and like I think we've talked about this before, you and I, like our alternate realities, or is that just me projecting onto you?
We've talked about different shows having things like that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think it was just me. But yeah, I like just alternate realities where one thing has changed and you're like you get to see how that plays out, and that's pretty much the whole.
They did that with the CW shows because they had a lot of crossovers. They actually did one where they flipped Oliver Queen and Barry Allen.
Yes, they did. Yeah. I just gotta say, I hated when they crossed over, and not for the reason you're thinking.
You want to know why I hated it? Because
Why?
you'd have to watch all the different shows to keep track of it. And so if you're binging one series, then you're like, you get a snippet and you're like, oh, I got to track down the rest.
Okay, so yeah, maybe it is exactly the reason you're thinking. Yeah, that sucked. And plus,
Yeah.
also, I was watching The Flash on Netflix, and then it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
we're going over to like, it wasn't the Arrow.
They have Supergirl.
Okay, yes, that was the Arrow. I had to buy the Arrow episode on
Okay,
YouTube.
here's the thing. VPN, go to America, they have Arrow.
Yeah, I actually did that.
I
the
don't
next
get how
day.
they have a Canadian show and we don't.
Yeah, we're losing in every aspect here, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I bought the Arrow episode, and then the next day I thought, hey, let's check out the VPN. I hate my life, but anyways. Then I was like, oh sweet, and if it goes to Supergirl, I'm good. And then it's like, yeah, we're going to like the Guardians of the Galaxy, but for DC. There's like a time traveling.
That's on like Amazon Prime.
Yeah. So I'm like, I am not buying another episode. I don't care. So yeah, there was just one big storyline that I just gave up on. I'm like, cool.
I'm just waiting for them to release like a collection package.
Yeah.
And
God.
I haven't watched any of the Batwoman, and it's not to say like I kind of wanted to, but I was just a little sad after the Gotham series ended.
Yes. Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to say. When you brought up Gotham series, all I'm doing really is just agreeing with you because that is such a great series.
Yeah.
That is just like yeah, it was you could tell it was almost a risk when they first put it out because it's like who really cares? But then it's like
but the Harvey and Gordon dynamic with those actors was phenomenally perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like you're having a Batman show where Batman's not Batman yet. Is that going to work? And it's like it worked so well. And like the only problem is that Bruce is never in any real danger. That's the only issue. But besides that, you can't really there's hardly anything you can complain about. It was really well done. I always loved the colors that they used in it.
But for the Bruce thing, it's like, okay, how is he kind of shaping into it? How is Alfred preparing him?
True.
Is the dynamic there?
True, yeah, because you don't know because Batman's always
that was the intrigue.
Yeah, because there is always like the pompous Batman or like or alternate reality, so you never really know what he was gonna be like. Yeah. Oh, and that Alfred
I do
rocked.
think they've left it. I think they've left it open enough where they could, like, as that actor got older, they could revisit that.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. They picked a great actor. This one I have no idea what his name is, but like
I just hope the child actor syndrome doesn't happen to him.
Oh my god, please no. Because he was really, really good.
Yeah. And they also had the guy from Shameless doing like they couldn't they weren't legally allowed to do Joker because they were trying to do the Joker movie.
You know how upset I was? Oh.
But like, he did such a great job on that. And that actually opened up a lot of, like, now he's not even doing like that kind of acting. He's in Jedi. He's like, the Jedi, the Fallen Order, and Survivor.
Yeah.
He's just that guy now.
Yeah, he's actually doing like cool roles that I'm like, that's...
Yeah. And he was like, I saw the one game show. He's just wearing a poncho. It's like, you didn't give my character a poncho in the second game.
That's hilarious. It's like, why is no one... Yeah, I saw that. Why is no one talking about the poncho?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah. God, yeah, that... Yeah, so I guess, like, to kind of frame it up, on my side anyways, I'm more of a DC guy, but I can dip my toes in Marvel and still enjoy myself. It's just feeling a little too saturated.
I like Marvel. I'll watch Marvel stuff, but I'm a DC guy.
Yeah. Plus, I'm a Batman freak, but I'm actually going closer to The Flash ever since the show.
Ever since the show, I've been a real heart of like gritty, dark Arrow.
Oh yeah,
Green Arrow.
Yeah. It's just it's so funny with the Flash. They just make him way too overpowered, but then they have to dial him back. Where it's like, you can vibrate through people. But...
Well, yeah, but it's one of those like things that they have that gimmick where it's like, I just gotta go faster.
Yeah.
Every time, it's just I gotta go faster.
I do love that the first season of The Flash, it was all about like, okay, calculate this, see how fast I have to go. And then after that they just dumped it and it's just him running as fast as he can everywhere. But before it was like, you'd have to go 200 kilometers. It's like, we know that he goes through time. Stop. All right, this has been On the Rewind. Thank you so much for listening. If you want to catch the extended edition on Spotify or anywhere else that you listen to podcasts, just hop on over there. You've been listening to Amherst Island Radio 101.3 FM. Thank you so much for listening.
Welcome back to On the Rewind.
Okay, and welcome back to On the Rewind. You're listening to our extended edition on Spotify and anywhere else you listen to podcasts. Thank you so much for tuning in. All right. But
DC.
Yeah, pretty much to sum up the last probably like 30 minutes, DC. Yes.
Yeah.
I know you have some gaming news to go over.
Oh, I got a bunch of stuff. We can dip in. So, things to kind of catch you up on that's going on me. So, you know this voice and how everything that's attached to.
Yeah.
Well, aside from the D&D campaign, that's pretty much done.
What?
I'm quitting the Gold Rush stuff. Just had too many issues with the admins there and the ranching and stuff like that. So, they already took the ranch. So.
They took the what?
Yeah, no, apparently me working overtime and me saying about it's like, oh, I'd like to hand down the ranch to one of my foremen so they can run it.
Isn't that exactly what happened with you and it was okay?
Yeah.
Well, I need to go on there and say something.
I'm back to welding.
Yeah.
So, been doing that a bunch.
I'm kind of upset about the ranch thing.
Me too.
I'm still listening
but
to you.
Essentially, I'm probably going to end up just finding another server in the long term, but for the short term, it's just taking a little break from the RP.
I'm not happy.
Yeah, I know. That was like my way of socializing when everyone else was busy.
Yeah, well, yeah. But also it's fucking like, yeah, you're a Western boy at heart. You have to get a horse now.
Yeah. Diablo 4.
Yeah.
Slowly making my way through that. Natively supports the PS5 controller, just plugging it into the computer there.
Oh, that's kind of sweet.
Yeah, because I'm just like, I play on PC. I don't have a PS5. I bought a PS5 controller.
Ooh.
Because you can plug it into the PC.
Did you just buy the white one? Or did you go fancy?
I got the red one.
Oh, you suck. Okay. Continue.
Yeah, this is a while back I got that one.
Yeah.
Street Fighter 6. And so the big thing on Street Fighter 6 is they've made it a lot more accessible to people that don't want to do long strings of combos.
Okay, me. Yes.
Yeah.
Hi.
So, all right. So I'm going to actually hold my controller here. All right. So you have your light, which is square. You got your medium, which is X, and you got your heavy, that's circle, and then your special button is triangle.
Okay.
If you hold R2, or the right trigger for all the other controller users, and you hit any of the bottom three, you automatically do combos.
Oh, okay.
If you hold that button and hit triangle, and you move each different direction with the analog stick or the direction pad, does a different super. As well as not pushing any direction. So there's 5 specials in total. And same thing with all the different attacks. Back, light. So it's one direction plus button made a trigger.
Oh, it's funny. So it's like this, like it's a teensy little bit of a combo, if you even want to call it that.
Yeah.
That's
cool.
cool.
And so it's broken down to that. And so for someone who has ADD and a lot of issues, this control scheme, which is tournament legal, is pretty much like the saving grace of like the fighting genre right now, because a lot of people are trying it out and actually doing okay. Like, I'm winning a couple of matches here and there.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I'm just winning rounds. Like, it's like, oh, you won 2 rounds, but at least I got a round in there. I figured, I caught you off guard.
Yeah,
I won
yeah.
around, but then you caught what I'd learned to do, and you stomped it out. So now I gotta learn a new thing to try and mix it up.
At least it
But
made you
like,
feel like you have a fighting chance, right?
yeah, and it's
Yeah.
very responsive too, and that's a lot of what it is, right? Like I'm just in the rookie bracket, like we're just like this. I think like either the bottom tier or the second bottom tier,
Yeah.
and so like I play casual or ranked matches instead of doing like the open lobby
Mm-hmm.
matchmaking, and it'll put you in someone that's at your rank or slightly above. And so yeah,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
getting stomped, but I'm learning other characters' movesets while I'm getting stomped.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't just feel like it's a downhill battle the whole way.
No.
Or uphill battle,
And it's
sorry.
and it's funny when you win a match against guys that he rematches you because he's like, oh, I can grind you for points, and then you win a match and they're just like, I leave.
Oh, yeah. That's funny.
But yeah, no, Street Fighter 6. It's like if you ever get a chance to even just try the demo, they got it on PS5, the demo there, a little bit. Just play around with the control scheme. You might even like it.
Sweet.
Dialing back up to Diablo 4, one thing is I've noticed I've changed a lot as a person from when I played Diablo 2 back when I was little
Yeah.
to Diablo 4 now. Because they have the Necromancer, right?
Yeah.
Little kid me is, I'm leading an army. Adult me is like, oh, this is pretty easy mode, but and I'm still playing through on Necromancer, but once I finish the campaign, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna go with the Rogue because the Rogue does a lot of damage to one target. And I've grown to as a person, as a D&D gamer and everything else like that. I like dishing out a lot of damage to one thing, so I can be like, yeah. And since we're in the extended, I can swear. It's like, look, I might not be able to take all of you, but I'm gonna fuck you up.
Yeah, it's funny because
and
you've grown older and more strategic. You just know what you like.
Yeah. Outlast Trials, still phenomenal, like horror kind of, not quite arcadey game that I've been circling back to here and there.
Yeah.
You said about getting onto Fallout 4. I've been getting onto Fallout 76.
Oh, how's that?
It's going all right. There's a lot of new added content to where I don't even know what to do, but I'm just trying to help the partner catch up because she's playing it on the Steam Deck there.
Oh, sweet.
So just getting her through it while I kind of do a little bit here and there, and then yeah, we're just kind of doing that together.
Oh, going through the Fallout together.
Yeah. Now, have you ever played any of the Skate games?
Yes, I played Skate 3 a bit.
Okay, well, Skate 3 is now 13 years old.
Okay, well, thank you for that. I already feel like I'm falling apart, but
Yeah. And then, have you heard about the Call of Duty drama?
no. No.
Okay,
no.
so the streamers started getting their own operator skins
Yeah.
and packages, and the two that recently came out got pulled.
Why?
Well, one of the streamers during this whole Pride Month commented, "Leave the children alone" on something, and then that got relayed back to Activision and to please the masses.
You got
It's like we don't yeah. And then the other one's like, well, I kind of stand with this guy, so removed. And it's kind of funny because I only learned about this like last night. Meanwhile, it's like, man, I've been craving to play like some Warzone or something like that. I've missed like, got that Call of Duty itch again.
Yeah, which is
Speaking
funny.
of Call of Duty itch, allegedly, Modern Warfare 3 is going to be dropping this year.
Really?
There was a leak. We're going to get teased in October, and it's going to be released in November. That's the current leak.
It's funny. I don't want to pay money for it, but if it ever comes out free, I do want to play this current Call of Duty story mode. Or even the previous one before that.
This one was actually good.
Yeah.
All right. And so now we're going to be going on to a little bit of a longer segment. I'm going to be talking about a lot of the up-and-comings.
All right.
So this is like if you're a gamer, this is where you stay tuned in. There's gonna be a timestamp to jump to this part if you wanted to skip our weeks and whatnot, and you just want the gaming news.
No. I'm important.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
And cause you're important, I put Payday 3 first on the docket.
Damn straight. Oh my god, I can't wait for this.
So we played Payday 3, or at least I did. This is before we kind of got back in touch. That was my high school game, that and Warframe, but mostly this.
Yeah, Payday 2, yeah.
Yeah. So Payday 3. Now since you're listening to the podcast, listen for the last feature I'm gonna list because it's the one that every gamer with friends that have too many friends or friends that just refuse to switch over. It's a feature you're gonna want to hear about.
Sure.
All right. So a little history on Payday 3. Announced back in 2021, pandemic high, after their fumble with the Overkill Walking Dead, which I wanted to try at one point, but it's completely delisted now.
Tat.
Like we said, Payday 2 was kind of like our generations of peak high school gaming.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah. And I was running it on a laptop that could barely hit medium settings at the time. But that was the game to go to with your buds back in the day.
Yeah.
The game is, the game is being developed for PlayStation, Xbox. No word about the last gen, but current gen, the 5 and whatever the Xbox naming convention is. I think it's the Series.
Mhm.
There's no word if it's going to be on the PS4 or not. They haven't said. Though it is being worked on Unreal 4 engine with the intentions to move to Unreal 5, which I thought was a little odd. Why wouldn't they just go with 5? But I guess they've just been working on it bit by bit long enough that they kind of just like a lot of work on 4. Now, if you've seen the trailer, which I know you have and I have, graphically, I'm not too impressed.
For how long we've been waiting, yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah. But if it's going to be moved to Unreal 5, there's the hope there.
Mm-hmm.
But they showed a lot of different things there. It looks like it's going to be good either way.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm going to hit it up with you. Hopefully the other buds can take some convincing to get a good group going. But
oh, God, they're going to get it no matter what, I think.
Well, yeah, the stipulations there. But anyway, we know we're going to be hitting it up in New York with Dallas Chains, Hoxton, and Wolf. Houston's not in sight at the moment. But there's 2 other heisters that are going to be released after launch. I'm betting at least one of them's going to be female. I'm thinking probably Sydney.
Oh, yeah.
She's a big fan favorite.
Oh,
I don't.
Yeah,
who do you think the other one would be? It could be Houston, so they could bring back, the baby brother. Or, I don't know. What do you think?
It would have to be a non-sponsored one. Like, I wish it was John Wick. That's my guy. But,
that might happen with, like, not this John Wick movie, but the next one.
Yeah. He's coming back because it was perfect. But I think you're right, because it'd have to be like a pretty close.
It's either going to be Sydney or it's going to be the Irish one, Clover.
Yeah.
Or it could be both of those. Who knows?
Yeah. Get some females in there, or to try and like mix it up, they might actually just do a whole brand new one that they haven't thought of before. Trying to be like
they got too much OG cast to bring back though.
Yeah, but then I think
Before we
with
start seeing some
hitting
OGs.
them with like a retro pack right off the bat, it's kind of like, no, we need new. You promised us new. I think after they kind of like dazzle you with the first one, then they'll be like, and boom, you get to play as Sydney, and this is her retro new outfit, and all that. I don't know.
Yeah, speaking of outfits, Payday 3 will be like any other release with like any other release, it's gonna be loaded with microtransactions for cosmetics. They've done that with weapons and tailor packs already.
Oh yeah. There's a whole marketplace.
Yeah. But finally, just the top off features. My favorite, and what every game needs in my opinion, crossplay.
Oh yeah. I don't know why they don't.
But it's also going to have cross progression.
Oh.
So you can carry over your account over to. So they're going to have their own online networking system with that, I believe.
See, that to me is like the cherry on top. Just because I forget what game it was, but I do remember going back and forth when my PC was still like somewhat recent and new. Just going back and forth on like whatever console I was on and this, and progressing both ways. It's like, that's just awesome. I don't know. It's a small
I think
things.
it needs to be a more modern thing happening.
Oh yeah.
And I hope GTA 6 Online takes note of that.
Yeah.
whenever that comes.
Yeah.
All right. And because I love you so much, I lined it up with the second most anticipated thing I think that'd be on your list: Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty expansion.
Yes, I have heard a little bit of controversy over the price. I'm not
Yeah.
complaining, obviously, but yeah,
So
I do know.
we're gonna get into a little bit, but so the underbelly of Cyberpunk 2077, Dogtown, is where we're gonna be heading.
Yeah.
Gonna be dogging it. Anyway, here were the plans to develop at least 2 major DLCs expansions like Witcher 3.
Yeah.
However, it got revised into a singular Phantom Liberty package, which is hence the price. They kind of tried shoving both ideas into one, what they could.
Mm-hmm.
Currently be marketed to take more of a covert op approach.
Oh.
Making stealth more viable, more appealing compared to the in-your-face skill set the base game was known for.
Yeah.
There was hacking, but you had to go all out towards it, and it ended up being an ambush style with like a cat and mouse fleeing as you flung demons towards a Borg, like Adam Smasher.
Yeah. Yeah, you pretty much yeah, you had to almost do that cool just run and gun, but hacking with your brain.
Yeah. I'm excited for Cyberpunk 2077 having this, but the last single player campaign was the last kind of single player game I fully dove into. I guess I fully dove into Modern Warfare 2's story afterwards, but like I don't fully play a campaign out. I'm more of a social co-op gamer.
Yeah, I saw a TikTok that started like dividing up gamers, and when they said social gamer and all its qualities, I was like, oh my god, that's what Derek is.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you are perfectly the definition of just like you do dabble, but yeah, social gamer.
Yeah. But unfortunately, from what I can tell, there's still no saving our Choom Jackie.
Oh god.
But though being labeled as a spy thriller, maybe we'll be chipping in as 007.
Yeah.
A side note, because I've been just catering to you, a little bit catering to me, because you know I'm into this brand. You're going to hear it in the first 3 words.
Yeah.
Vampire the Masquerade.
Oh, yeah.
Bloodlines 2.
Yeah,
is
buddy.
alive with more news coming down the pipeline.
Sweet.
Phenomenal game. The first one was.
God bless you.
So I'm excited.
Yeah, you are.
And I want to do this indie slot. So it's not out yet, but there's a game called Mouse. It's cartoony like old Mickey Mouse, like Steamboat Willie kind of thing. With kind of like a Looney Tunes kind of bordering, but it's punched up like a Cuphead. It's in black and white. If you ever played the game Super Hot?
Yes, I have.
Seen it?
Yeah.
So without the slowdown, but you know that floatiness of moving around real fast?
Yeah.
It's got that kind of movement in it, just from the trailer.
Okay. Yeah, I think I've seen a little bit of it, but it was a work in progress build.
Yeah, that's what I saw there too. So as a kid, I played Prince of Persia: Warrior Within, that had one of my favorite bands as a kid, Godsmack, playing one of the songs as you're parkouring through a falling apart world as you're heading to the boss.
Yeah.
And it was very like edgelord, everything else like that. But Prince of Persia wasn't always that way. It used to be kind of a slide scroller, kind of Metrovania, and it's going back to its root with Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown. Now,
Nice.
there's been a huge gap since Assassin's Creed came out. Prince of Persia kind of took a dive. We had that one release on Xbox 360, PS3 that was nothing like any of the previous ones. That was more of a, I don't know, kind of just exploring an open world.
Yeah.
Like, kind of planes of this magical kind of like gliding. It was different. Our style was cool. It was kind of almost like that. Escaping me now because I didn't write this one down in my notes. Alice in Wonderland, Madness game. Kind of like kind of almost open worldy train, but it was more like Roman and floating islands.
Yeah.
But either way,
it was a really good game.
And you're not playing as the prince either. You're actually playing as this one guy with some dreads, kind of got a cool aesthetic going to him. But it's an action side scroller with like the parkour, avoiding the traps, kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Okay.
And then following to that, Alan Wake 2. Are you familiar with the Alan Wake
Oh,
series?
very. I watched my one buddy play that way back when in high school.
Yeah, so you remember like the flashlight, the kind of like the
Yeah.
horror kind of
Yeah.
aspect. Yeah, so going back to survival horror, still with the flashlight combat, still a little bit of gunplay. Still, you're playing as an FBI agent and Alan Wake.
Oh, going back and forth.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
I think it's kind of like I don't know if they're gonna do like a Resident Evil like 2 thing where it's like you pick one character, you play through their story, and then you play the other one.
Yeah.
And you can choose, but I do know you can choose who you want to start off as.
Okay.
All right.
Be cool
Now,
if they're
one
intertwined.
last. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think the stories are gonna be.
Yeah.
But this one's for you, Adam.
Yeah.
Especially for you. Have you heard of the game The Spirit of the Samurai?
No. Well, no. I think I've heard of it, but I don't
All right.
remember
Well,
anything about
let
it.
me sell you on it at first.
You're good at
So
this.
1, you play as a cat.
Okay.
2, you play as a human. And 3, you play as, I'm gonna butcher this, Kedama? Actually, I pronounced that correctly. Oh my god.
Cool. What's that?
Which depending on the word you Google in the game is either a game with a ball, string, and 2 cups, or a yokai spirit that inhabits trees.
I'm thinking it's the game with the ball in the cup, but that's actually kind of cool.
Yeah, it's the second one.
That's
And
sweet.
so it's got a real cool kind of stop motion animation, which depending on your last project, you might think that's cool, or you might need a longer break before I introduce you to something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
But it's got old school vibes with current
Fuck.
tech.
Yeah.
Is a really cool element to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
The cat's
depending
gonna
on
win
what
me
you're
over.
playing as, the cat is like the fleeing stealth kind of element,
Yeah.
human warrior. And I didn't see any gameplay of the Kadama.
Yeah. Cool. So it's almost a class system.
I think it's the following of 3 characters.
Oh, okay. I thought that was a class, and it's like, you know how cool that would be if in Overwatch you could just be a cat and you're just not dealing any damage. You're just chilling there. You actually are like impeding your team because they have to feed you, and like you like walk under their feet and trip them.
Or if they can collect the traits and feed you, they get buffs.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my god, yeah. Yeah, you can actually trip the other players by walking under their feet and like just scratch
Yeah.
them a little bit. But it just stops them for a
You
sec.
can hiss and pounce and blind them for a second.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. I love it.
Speaking of cats.
Oh yeah, mine is like finally breaching the wall of the door. Yeah, it's the special one, so she'll run at it as fast as she can. And thank
The
God I
battering
put
ram cat.
Oh yeah, thank God I put soundproofing up here cuz yeah, her head's hollow and you can hear it. Oh my god.
So
That's
what
cool.
your cat might be trying to do is Final Fantasy Rebirth. Sometime next year, continuing the remake saga.
Yeah.
Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora. You play as a captured Navi.
I actually have
Um,
seen a lot of advertisement for this.
Yeah, so you're trained by the humans to hunt down your own kind, but you escape and you explore the world, trying to get in touch with your people and your roots, taking on the human front.
Yeah.
My partner's pretty hyped about this, mostly just because they like Avatar stuff, and
Oh,
we
she into
recently
Avatar?
Yeah, huge.
Oh, wow.
We recently watched Way of the Water. Now it was both hard for us to kind of get into because it's been so long since the first.
Yeah. That's why you
But
gotta
it
watch
was
the
hard
first.
to start, but it was a good movie.
Yeah.
And so that kind of got me kind of like if you watch the movie, it kind of gets you in the mood. It kind of preps you for being in the mood for this.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, I'm awful for that where like I buy into hype trains and stuff like that immediately. Like if they release like a Batman movie and then all of a sudden there's a new Batman Lego set out, I'm like, oh, I could just like devote all my time and money to Lego. Like, I'm perfect for advertisers. I hate it.
So I'm gonna go ahead and pull from the PlayStation side of things.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2 was announced recently.
Yeah.
So they're actually showing Venom, like the symbiote, actually being involved in it heavily in the storytelling, and you're both playing as Miles and Peter Parker through a lot of it.
Okay.
It looks like it's gonna be really interesting. I haven't played any of the Spider-Man games. I do recognize that like they're probably some of the best well-made games out there. They're made by Insomniac. But
Oh, dude.
I really just want Insomniac to go back to making Sly Cooper and Infamous.
Yeah.
But they have a huge property like Spider-Man, which is like, #1 best-selling movies, everything else like that. Like, of course, they're going to use that property while they got it.
Oh yeah, they can't not. Speaking
Yeah.
of Miles Morales, by the way, do you know that this Into the Spider-Verse is going to be the last time Miles Morales is really explored in the Marvel MCU?
I mean, I get that.
Yeah.
Because you got 2 movies, and Andrew Garfield only really got 2 movies.
Yeah, and it's kind of like its own world. Like nothing really lines up too well with the rest of the universe.
Yeah.
So that kind of makes sense. It's nothing they can like really go off of, and they don't really have like.
And they open it way too wide for across the universe.
Right? Yes. Yeah.
So if they're really narrowed down on something, like it's not like they have DC where they have Flashpoint where for a period of time it goes down to like a single Earth.
Yeah. Yeah, they're opening it wide up and saying all of this is possible, which I know a lot of people end up looking at and saying that's too much for me.
Yeah. Like it's good for a sequel. It might have been better for like a third movie if they and do something smaller in the middle.
Yeah, it's raising the stakes a lot.
Yeah. But I would really like them to actually know that I'm mixing DC and Marvel. I was gonna say I'd really like Static Shock to get revisited. But anyway, yes, but yeah, I haven't seen it yet. I was hoping to, but I just ended up getting too busy to go see it in theaters.
Oh yeah, I wanted to see Machine by Bert Kreischer too. Can't, just have no time.
Yeah.
'Tis being an adult.
Yeah. Now to top off or the end of the list, since we kind of been dabbling with some Bethesda's. Starfield. Will it be Space Skyrim? What's your take?
I gotta say yes, but I hope so. I actually, no, I'm gonna, You know what? Screw it. It is. You heard it here first. It is. I want it to be. You know how sick that's gonna be.
I find it hard to say, but it's gonna be one of those you're either hyped for or you're not. Maybe No Man's Skies put a kind of a noose on space games for a while for you. I know you had that experience until you kind of touched it. They did make a comeback with some people, but it's left a lot of space games tasting the bad taste in their mouth with it. That between Star Citizen never leaving beta and being a money scam. Mind you, still one of the best space games you could play out there.
See, I'm also thinking, have you played Outer Worlds? Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
I haven't played it. I watched the buddy play it, and I got high.
Oh. Okay, well, no, you have not played it. It's amazing.
But it was a good time.
Yeah, so I'm kind of hoping for like that, but like more delving into making your own character a little more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But either way, and because it's Bethesda, we know it's going to be buggy. It's going to break. It's going to have a great story. And as Todd Howard always says, it just works. This has been On the Rewind.
Thanks for listening to On the Rewind.